Hi guys, I'm Aaron and I'm in the kitchen and today I am making southern fried chicken, but no buttermilk. Okay, so I have already marinated my chicken overnight. My marinade has orange juice, lemon juice. This is freshly squeezed, by the way. Orange juice, lemon juice. I have a little bit of pickle juice from spicy bread and butter pickles. Now, if you don't like spice, if that's not your thing, then you don't have to add that. I would still add the juice from a bread and butter pickle just because it's a little bit sweeter. The orange juice and the orange juice and the lemon juice and the pickle juice are all going to tenderize your meat. You want that meat to be real tender. I added a little bit of Tabasco hot sauce in here, the extra spicy one. I added mustard in here. You can use Dijon mustard or you can use the French's yellow mustard if you are watching from the States. If you're watching from a German speaking country, then use the mustard from one of the sausage stands because that's the mustard that I used and that's the mustard that I like. It's really tangy. I like that mustard. But it's not tart like or chalky in the mouth like the French's, and that's why I use this. So we are going to do a wet batter and a dry batter, and both of the batters have the same ingredients, but I'm just going to show you guys how I make them. Into the bowl for our wet batter, we have 2 cups all-purpose flour into the bowl, and a half a cup of cornstarch. Okay, so for my fried chicken, I'm not using buttermilk because I've learned over time that buttermilk actually browns faster than you want it to. If you've ever made buttermilk biscuits, right? On the top of those biscuits, right before the end, you brush a little buttermilk on the top. Why? Because you want that to brown, and that browns faster than the biscuits do. And the same concept goes for your fried chicken. So if you don't want your batter to fry or your batter to get too dark on your chicken, then just don't add the buttermilk, but still add the cornstarch. The cornstarch is for the crunch and the flour is to hold on. All right, so to my wet batter, I'm adding tablespoon of Slap Your Mama. And you can add whatever spices, whatever seasonings that you like, but this is what I like. I'm adding Creole seasoning. It's about 2 tablespoons of that. I'm adding all-purpose lemon pepper. This is the Smoke and Fire brand, but it doesn't matter. Use whatever you like. About a tablespoon of that. Some crushed red pepper flakes. I like a little kick, so I'm gonna add some of that. All right, like a little bit of kick in there. I am adding garlic powder, not garlic salt. I'm adding a little bit of tahini because I love this on anything chicken. And it's just gonna bring out even more that lemon pepper taste. I'm from Georgia, so I love a lemon pepper taste on my wing. And I have the sazon that I'm gonna put on here, but I have the seafood sazon. I don't have the regular one, but I like the way it tastes, so I'm gonna use it anyway. In the bowl. And I have a chicken bouillon cube here. Now, I don't know if I'm gonna use this. If my batter isn't salty enough, then I'm gonna use this chicken bouillon cube. But if it is salty enough, then I'm gonna leave it. Just gonna grab a whisk here real quick. And mix this up. Okay, so I have the ingredients in my wet batter. I have the ingredients in my wet batter, but it's not wet yet. So how do I wet it? Water. I'm not gonna measure this. We're just gonna wet this until the batter gets to a nice consistency that's looser than a pancake batter. Start to mix this up here. All right, now we need a lot more water than that. You always want to make sure that when you're mixing, you incorporate it really good before you add more water because we don't want it too loose either. But this isn't loose enough for me right now. I need it a little bit looser. Who doesn't? Like your morals. All right, a little bit looser, a little bit looser. Well, I hope I didn't make it too loose now. Just mix this up for a little while. I don't think that's too loose. I might add just a touch more flour in here or a touch more cornstarch. Maybe I'll do a touch more cornstarch. We want it loose, but not too loose. We still want it to grab onto our chicken. I'm gonna try my best to use tongs in this case, but we'll see. I already know I'm gonna get my hands dirty. All right, for our chicken, I ended up cutting up a whole chicken. I think that's more bang for your buck. And I spatchcocked my chicken and I used the bones from the back and I started already making some chicken stock. You get more bang for your buck when you use a whole chicken. So I usually use a whole chicken and cook up those pieces into the bowl. I am gonna need more than one more than one whisk. All right, I'm just transferring a couple of pieces of chicken in here and just let them sit in here for a second. Maybe I'll do 3 pieces, 3 big old pieces of chicken, 5 pieces here. What you're seeing is 2 whole chickens cut up. All right. Now let's do our dry mix. And the dry mix, I'm gonna actually taste the dry mix. You should not eat flour, so do what I say, but don't do what I do. You should not eat flour because flour can have bacteria in it. But I want to know, I want to know what it tastes like, so I'm gonna taste it just a little bit, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Oh, I can't taste the wet batter now. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave out the bouillon cube and the wet batter because I can't taste it now. There's raw meat in it, so now I can't taste it. But I'm gonna use 1 bouillon cube in the dry mix, even though I didn't use it in the wet. Oh, that smells good. Does anybody else think that chicken bouillon smells good? Going in with my tablespoon of tahini, tablespoon of lemon pepper. Maybe that was a tablespoon and a half, looks like. Tablespoon of garlic powder, not salt. Notice I did not add salt because these seasonings have salt in them anyway, so I'm just trying to be careful with that. Maybe 2 tablespoons of Creole and a tablespoon, at least 2 tablespoons of Slap Your Mama, because we do want it to make you want to slap your mama. All right. Now, oh, my sazon. Got to put some of that in there. I'm gonna use my whisk for my dry flour, and we're gonna give this a mix. If you cannot see your seasoning in your flour or on your food, it's not seasoned enough. And I'm not the person that originates that. That's Kimmy Creations, and I totally agree with her. All right, we're gonna move this over to my oil, and I'm testing the temperature on my oil. I already have my oil cooking, but we want our oil at 365 at the very least. 375 is optimal. That's Fahrenheit, by the way. 375 in Celsius is 190. All right, so the oil is getting up in temperature. Y'all get a thermometer for your oil and check your oil. If you don't want your oil to cool down too fast, try to get your chicken to reach room temperature before you start to fry. Also, it won't pop so much if you have it at room temperature before you start to fry. But use a thermometer so you can really check your oil and you can really know what's going on. And don't overcrowd your pot either. At the most here, I'm gonna do 3 pieces at the most because it's a whole chicken, so it's big. All right, my oil is at 365. So I'm ready to go ahead and start frying. Gonna take a piece. I'm using 2 sets of tongs here. I'm using my big tongs to dip into my wet batter. Let me move that a little bit closer. Using to dip into my wet batter and also my marinated chicken. And I'm using my small tongs to get them in my dry batter because I don't want to use my hands. If I got to use my hands, I use my hands, but I don't want to use my hands right now. All right, trying to press. Y'all, I got to use my hands. I tried it. All right, let me do a little bit of pressing because I need to know that it's on there. I need to know that it's on there and it's on there good. Press the chicken down a little bit. And you do both sides. Don't be skimpy. Got enough flour in there. All right. And shake off some of that flour. And the first one is going to go into the oil. Oh, you see that bad boy frying right there? I forgot to say, once your oil does get to temperature, you can turn down the heat. I had mine on high and I just turned it down to medium. So if you get scared, that's what that is. It's all right. Ugh. So you do your big pieces of chicken first. So your breasts, your thighs, your legs, you do those big pieces of chicken first because they need longer to cook. Got another spatula. I'm using another spatula to start looking. That chicken starting to fry. Getting a nice crust on it. Okay, good. Whew. Now that is some pretty, pretty chicken. Go ahead and get you in there. It's gonna keep cooking and while it's sitting there sizzling. Also, you can look at your chicken. When you don't add the buttermilk, the color of the chicken is gonna match the doneness pretty much. But you can look at your chicken and you see this piece here, it's just kind of floating. It's almost done. And that's how you know because it's just sitting there floating. It's not as dense as it was when it went in the oil. Yeah, and that's done. Bone-in chicken is always going to cook slower than boneless chicken. So if you want your cook time on the chicken to be faster, especially faster than mine, then use the boneless. You can debone the chicken yourself if you still want to use the whole chicken method because it's more cost effective. Oh shit. Okay, so after I fried the chicken, I let it rest in the oven for about 15 minutes. I already had something in the oven cooking. So I just turned it off and let it rest in the oven while I prepared the rest of our dinner. But for y'all, I'm gonna give one of these pieces a try. Which one? I don't know. I'm gonna go for this one because it's right in front of me. Oh, it's so crispy. Mm. Now I go for this one. No, it don't matter. I'm going for this one. It is hot. Hot. It is hot. It's very hot, but it is crispy. Listen to this. Mm. You hear a crunch. Mm. Oh my God. Season your food. Oh my God. I got to get into the meat. I got to get into the meat. This is, oh. Mm. It is perfectly cooked and it is juicy. Oh my God, it's so hot. Mm. Mm. You see that juice? You see that juice? You hear that crunch? Mm. Mm. One more bite. Oh my God. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. If you did, I can't wait to see you next time. Ciao for now.